Good afternoon and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview with Neil Baker, the day after the successful 2-1 home victory against Royston. How are you, Neil?
Very well, thanks, John. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Did you have a good night out with the boys last night?
Yeah, it was an interesting evening as it normally is. No, we had me and John. We went out for a few beers with them and we let them get on with it. At the end of the
Getting a bit old for that.
Getting a bit too old for it. So no, it was good. The lads got together and they always have a good night.
You've had a bit of time to reflect yesterday. Firstly, do you want to take us through the team selection? Unchanged. You haven't done that too often this season.
No, it's nice to be able to name an unchanged side. Felt that we'd put in a pretty good performance at North Greenford, and we felt that we didn't need to make any changes, and so it was pretty easy selection for us. I mean, we had a bit of a chat with George before the game, just sort of to have a almost say where we need him to be, and to be fair, I think we got a great response from him yesterday. I thought he come on and was excellent. So yeah, no, it was pretty straightforward for us. Obviously, we've got Johnny Dyer and Steve Duff now available, so they'll come back into the equation. And it's all fun and games.
And how are the conditions? Because obviously it was quite hot out there. The pitch was dry and dusty.
Yeah, I don't think the heat actually was too much of a problem. The pitches are getting difficult, and it's always at this stage of the season. They always do. They start to get a bit dusty, a little bit bobbly.
Does it affect us more than other teams?
To be honest, I think it affects everyone. We obviously want to try and get the ball out wide, and we want to playing the ball into the front man's feet, etc. But sometimes you just can't do that. I mean, sometimes players are trying to make the right decisions, and the ball might bobble up and go out for a throw or something like that. So you just have to be a bit mindful of it. And to be honest, we say in the change room, we're not going to hammer you for making mistakes if it bobbles and things like that. As long as they're trying to make the right decisions. So.
And quite a fast start to the game, but this time you were on the receiving end rather than giving end. North Greenford, obviously a really positive, strong start, but this time went and got down quite early. What did you make of the first 5-10 minutes? Yeah,
I thought we were poor first 10 minutes. We didn't start well at all. I thought we were on the back foot a little bit. It was almost like we were left in the change rooms almost, and they fully deserved to go 1-0 up. I mean, it was a great ball into the box and it was a good header. I look forward to watching it back to see if we can see if it was anyone's fault or anything like that. However, sometimes you just got to say a great ball and it was a good finish. So yeah, it gave us a bit of a kick up the backside, and we responded, and obviously responded with a great goal from Warren Harris. After great work from his brother.
Yeah, so he this time Scott returned the favour on Tuesday night. It was Warren heading across goal to give Scott his second goal, but yesterday it was the other way around. So they're combining well, and then unfortunately after that Scott got injured.
Yeah. I mean, a bit gutted for Hatchett really. He's come and done really well recently, and I think people are beginning to see what we know Scott can do, and he is one of those forwards that are very difficult to play against because he doesn't give you an easy time. So, but unfortunately, he tried doing a little bit of skill in the corner, which I don't think I've ever seen him do, to be honest. And unfortunately, he's gone to put in a cross, and I think he's overstretched and may have sort of tweaked his medial knee ligaments a little bit.
Is it a little bit too early to say whether he'll be available for Thursday?
I very much doubt he'll be available for Thursday. If I'm honest, I would say it might be a couple of weeks. So which is a blow. It's a shame. However, you've got your perfect replacement. In being able to bring another forward back into the squad, and that's obviously Johnny Dyer can come back into the squad. So it is frustrating for us and for Scotty, but it's not going to kill our season.
No. The rest of the first half was fairly even. Neither keeper was particularly tested. A lot of battles in midfield and the ball spending quite a bit of time in the air. What did you make of it? Was 1-1 a fair reflection at half time?
Yeah, I felt it was. I think we started to get the better of them at the last 10-15 minutes of the half. But to be honest, the game wasn't an amazing spectacle or anything like that. It was a hard fought performance, and sometimes you have to sort of dig out a result, and I think that's exactly what we did yesterday. But I felt 1-0 was fair first half. The conditions were quite tough, because obviously the pitch, but you also had quite a strong wind, which I felt actually died down a little bit second half. But very much so first half, they were clearing the ball and they were probably getting 20 or 30 yards extra on it because of the wind, whereas when we were trying to clear our lines, it was often going up into the wind and sort of dropping quite a bit short. So that definitely affected the first half. But I think me and John at one point said we'd be delighted to get in at 1-0, and that's what happened. And
what were the key messages you then went into the changing with to give the boys?
Well, to be honest, exactly what we said earlier. We said, look, we know the pitch isn't easy to get the ball down, but just keep persevering, keep working. Royston are a good side, so it was never going to be an easy game, and they made us fight very hard for the 3 points, and we just said, look, just go and give us another 45 minutes, hard work, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of quality that will be the undoing of Royston. And fortunately that happened.
Yeah, there was a bright positive start to the second half. That certainly the ball was on the grass a lot more, and a decent footballing kind of flow to the game. It resulted in a second excellent goal for Warren Harris. He's in some form at the moment, still carrying an injury, but banging in the goals.
Yeah, he's a top player. It's as simple as that. He's a great lad. He loves being at the club. He loves the lads he plays with, and he's just a real good player. He scored 16 league goals from right midfield. That's a tremendous record. It was a great ball from James Dobson. It was just put on a plate for him. It was the sort of ball you dream of as a centre forward, or in his position as a right winger. You just dream of a ball like that, because he didn't actually have to do an awful lot with it, because the ball in was so good. We were delighted. I mean, we were pleased with the second half performance. I don't know what it is, but we seem to be able to pass the ball better in the second half going towards the shed end. I'm not quite sure why that is. Maybe it's because the game settled down a little bit and we're sort of into the game, but we do seem to play better football in the second half, I think. Yeah,
and immediately after that goal, there was a 5 or 10 minute period of really intense pressure for you, where George Short had a great chance from a corner, good save from their keeper. That third goal would have really killed it off there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think the third goal would have completely killed them. Their recent away form hasn't been great, so I think if we were to have got the third, they would have probably gone, and we might have gone and got a fourth. For
but as it was, they kind of crept back into the game, the momentum built, and then it got a bit squeaky bum time for the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had Jake to thank for an absolutely top draw save.
Looking forward to see the video on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great save. I said to him he just did it for the cameras, to be honest. But no, it was as soon as the ball came in and the lads headed it across goal, I'd given it up myself. I thought it was in. So for him to claw out that save, and then I think it was Sean sort of followed up to clear off the line. I mean, it was a tremendous save, and and that's ended up giving us earning us 2 points. And I said to Jake, I said that's what we want from him. I said, you're part of the reason why we've added an extra 2 points to our league total today, because of an unbelievable save. So.
And what about the other two second half substitutions you made? Obviously, Short came on for Simpson. Was there a reason for that? Was that pre-planned?
No, Dan got a dead leg. He was struggling with it. Similar to George, actually, the other week. They both got sort of a dead leg just before half time, and he was trying to run it off, and he couldn't. And obviously, that meant that we brought George on. We'd asked George George is an unbelievable player, and I don't think the Slough fans have seen the best of him. Each year he's probably stepped up a level. I've known him since he's 15, 16, so I've had him for that long, and every year he's sort of improved as a player. And I think this year he's sort of remained a little bit static. But we said to him, the ability to be able to play is fine, and he'll be able to do that. However, he's got to adapt his game and, fight and win his headers, win his tackles, and have an impact on the game. And then the passing side of things will come. And I don't think he's been quite up to that level at times. He's done it at times, but not enough. And we said that to him before the game, and he had a perfect response yesterday, because he come on, he won all his headers, won his tackles. and that's what we expect of him, because we know he's a good player. Funny enough, I talked to the Biggleswade manager, Chris Nunn, quite a bit, and he raves about him, because he said he's a top player. When we played against Biggleswade 3 times last year, George was probably MOM in all 3 games. So yeah, he's a good player. So we're delighted to be able to bring him on.
And so where does that leave the injury situation? Obviously, you say Scott Harris is out. Obviously, Ben Ed long term, Fowler long term. Johnny Dyer comes back. Steve Duff comes back.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit early to tell, to be honest. For Thursday, I don't know how Dan will be. We'll have to see how that is. James Dobson as well. He got a bit of an ankle injury at the end. Poor tackle on him from Khan Femi. Didn't think it was a good tackle at all. Another referee might have sent the lad off, to be fair, but so he's got a bit of a knock. Obviously, Scott's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks. So we're up against it again, but you look at yesterday, and we've brought on George. We've had to bring on Adam Cornell very early, and thought Adam done well. And and then obviously you bring Jake Parsons on for the last sort of few minutes, and Jake's just a top player. It's only been because of injuries that he probably hasn't been starting as many games as he will want to do. But he knows a good pre-season, and he'll be massively in our plans next year.
Brilliant. Where does that then leave us in the overall league ambitions? Because obviously there were some other interesting results there. We now are in our own rights within the playoffs, and if we win all our remaining games, if we don't drop any, we will finish in that top 5.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be in that position where destiny is in our own hands. However, I reiterate what we've been saying for the last sort of couple of months. We're literally going to take each game as it comes, and the only game we're thinking about now is Barton Rovers and trying to get 3 points against them. Because if you start analysing every game and looking down the line and thinking, oh, if we do this and they do that. Often it doesn't happen anyway, and you end up sort of beating yourself up, to be honest. So no, we'll just concentrate on Barton. We'll go and watch a game on Tuesday.
No training Tuesday then.
No, we're with the games coming thick and fast on Thursday and Saturday. We've told them all to just go and do a gym session themselves. We'll go and watch a game, and we'll wait and see what happens. Whatever will be. At the end of the day, there's another 6 games for us, 9 games for Kettering, and anything can happen in those games. As quick as it turns in our favour, it can quite easily go the other way.
And what do you make of Barton as opponents, both as the venue? The pitch sometimes can be a little bit tricky. They've got a bit of a fixture backlog due to a lot of games getting called off, but people I think may have thought they would have fallen away a little bit earlier from it, but they've got some consistency, and they bounced back well from a surprise victory to beat 2 top sides recently, quite convincingly. It's a tough place to go.
Oh, it'd be a really, really tough place to go. I mean, Dan Kenoy's done a really good job over there. He's got a good side together. I think they're in a way they're quite similar to us. I think they all get on well. I think they have a few socials and things like that, and that's massively important at this level. And so they've forged a really good team spirit there, and that gets you a long way in football. And listen, some of their results have been absolutely superb, and yeah, I mean they're probably the surprise package of the season. However, you can't be a surprise package in March. They're there for a reason, because they're a good side, and there's nothing more to be said than that. We know that going there on a Thursday night will be extremely tough, as Kettering found out recently. So we'll go there with our eyes open, knowing it's going to be a very tough game. Not even thinking about our 4-0 victory against them earlier on in the season, and whatever will be.
How do you cope with 2 such important games? AFC Hayes on Saturday being a potential banana skin as well. Always had a bit of a jinx and hoodoo. How do you cope with getting the team ready, getting everything ready for 2 such key games in the space of 3 days? This
will be where your squad comes into effect, because to play on a Thursday night and then a Saturday is tough. Obviously, ideally we wouldn't be having to do it, but obviously, with Barton's, backlog, it's ended up being the case, and so we will use a squad over the 2 games, and hopefully most people will get a start. And listen, you never know what to do. You could say, right, well, we're whatever side we go with Barton. If we do well and then we go and play the same side on the Saturday, if you lose, people say, well, why didn't they, make a few changes? It's one of those. So we're just we'll assess the game, see if we pick up any injuries, and then we'll work on the game after. But the only focus at the moment, to say, is Barton Rovers.
And out these next 2 games, what's the acceptable point? 6 points is what you want, or is it 4 or 3?
Listen, obviously you want 6 points. I think
what would a success be?
Well, I think me and John, me and John were talking on the way to football yesterday, and John said 7 points out of the next 3 games would be great. I'm a little bit more, bullish. I want 9. But we know that probably 4 points out these next 2 games would be a good return, because it means that we're coming out of a really tough run, unbeaten again, and that's the main thing. I mean, we've started an unbeaten run again. I think we're 5 unbeaten now, with 4 wins and a draw. So listen. The only thing I care about is Thursday and trying to pick up those 3 points, and then we'll talk about AFC Hayes.
Brilliant. Well, I look forward to commentating there. So any of you Rebels fans that can't make it, please join us on YouTube on the Rebels Radio. I'm sure there'll be a good number of Rebels fans who make their way over there. Please come along and cheer on the boys, because it does make a difference, especially away from home on a dark Thursday night. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, the fans have been terrific recently, and they're really getting behind the lads. I think that they've really taken to them now. I think it took a while. It did take a while for them to get their favourites and understand what certain people bring to the team and whatever else. But they're really getting behind the lads now. And I mean, it is great when you go away to somebody else's patch and you've got a load of fans there, and they're all singing the Slough songs and whatever else. And it does give the lads a buzz, and it gives me and John a buzz. I mean, one of our friends took a picture of us after the final whistle went yesterday, and you can just see how much it actually means to us as people. We live and breathe it, and we'd love nothing more than to be successful at Slough.
And you were relieved to see no planes flying overhead of Holloway yesterday afternoon.
yeah. I think there's one supporter that probably would hire a plane and like to fly, get bakes and unders out. But he's probably the only one, I think, at the moment. But no, you laugh, and the thing is, in football, anything can happen, and something could be, in 6 months' time, thing could be completely different, and but that's football, and you've got to enjoy the highs when you get them, and because the lows will always happen.
Brilliant. Well, thank you ever so much for your time, Neil.
All right.
Good luck on Thursday, and I look forward to speaking to you in a week's time or so, hopefully with 6 points in the bag.
That'd be nice. Have a good one.
Cheers.